Hey there, I'm teacher Jenny, and in today's video, I will be teaching you how to give long and detailed answers in Ielts speaking part 3. One of the most common issues or worries that students face when they take the Ielts speaking exam is on how can they provide long answers in part 3. So they sometimes ask me, especially the first-timers, how many sentences should they give in that section? Actually, there are no specific numbers as to how many sentences you should give in part 3. You'll just have to make sure that your answers in part 3 should be longer than your answers in part 1. If in part 1 you can give 2 sentences, in part 3 you have to give at least 3 to 4 sentences. Why? It's your last chance to improve your IELTS speaking score. So you have to do well on that part, right? Now, most of the time, students lose their points because they either give very short or very long answers. So, they give very short or long answers due to the fact that they have no structure. Answer structure is very important due to the fact that it makes your answers more organized. You avoid being off topic and you can give a much detailed answer too. If you all give these things to the IELTS examiner, you can definitely give a much coherent answer, and that is equivalent to a much higher score. Now, what is the structure that you can use? Introducing the area technique, which means answer, reason, example, or alternative. So try to follow this technique. So let's take a look on some of the sample questions. Is it important to conserve old buildings? Sample answer: well, I would have to say that conserving the old structures is extremely significant, mainly because it reminds us of our past, and I think that they can also be tourist spots, since they attract a lot of people, especially foreigners. The perfect example for this are the temples and palaces in our country. These old structures definitely makes our tourism industry more active and booming by generating more revenue. If the government demolished these historical buildings, I think we would have less tourist destinations. So this kind of structure will give you or will help you to provide a much more structured and more organized answer, right? As I've mentioned a while ago, it's okay if you don't give the alternative. But if you give the alternative, of course, that would be a lot better, right? Now let us proceed to the next question. Do you think old people should live with their family? Well, as far as I'm concerned, I believe that old people should live with their family members, mainly because they need constant care and support, which is impossible to be obtained in a nursing home care facility. Apart from that, these kinds of facilities can cost an arm and a leg, so it might cause some financial burden. I'd like to take the old age centers in my town as an example. They are extremely expensive. That is why the patients in that center can only be counted in my finger. If the elders don't live with their family, not only is it costly, but it can also be depressing for them since they are not with their loved ones. So this is a long answer, a much more detailed one, right? Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's just another way of saying in my opinion. So you can use this kind of opening phrase when you want to begin your sentence. And as I've mentioned in my previous videos, instead of saying and or also when you were adding another information, try to replace it with apart from that or aside from that. This one is much better, right? Now, can cost an arm and a leg. This is an idiomatic vocabulary, which just simply means very expensive. As I've mentioned in my other video, using idioms in your sentences is a must due to the fact that getting band 7 to 9 is impossible without idioms. So please include idioms in your sentences, okay? Now, when you want to give example, usually we say for example or for instance, but instead replace it with this one. I'd like to take as an example. You can say, I'd like to take myself as an example. I'd like to take my friend as an example. Instead of saying always, for example, my friend. For example, my mother. That's too common. That's too ordinary already, right? So, basically, try to use this kind of structure, alright? This would help you a lot. Now, please remember this is only applicable for part 3 yes or no questions. Why? There are other question types such as compare and contrast, future question, opinion, cause and effect, and advantages and disadvantages. I actually have another video that I have made on how to answer future questions. I will be copying the link below, alright? So, I hope that this video of mine would be of great help to you, and thank you so much for watching my videos. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel and watch out for future videos related to other question types. That would be all for today. Thank you. Bye.